Okay, so today we're going to go over if a number is divisible by 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 10. And let's start by looking at 2. So basically, if a number is divisible by 2, if the digit or the number in the ones place is 0 or an even number. So we can look at, I guess we can look at 12. 12 is divisible by 2 because the number in the ones place, ones, is even, and we know that's 6. So we can also look at 10. 10 is actually the other rule. It's the ones place is actually a 0. So we know that's divisible by that. And we can look at another example on the calculator. So let's say 352, because the digit in the ones place is even, we can divide by 2. Ta-da! So there you go. It's actually pretty easy to tell. So let's move on to the next number. A number is actually divisible by 3 if the sum, so basically we're taking a look at the sum of the digits, the digits is divisible by 3. So let's say an example would be 12. Easy example. Is 12 divisible by 3? We know that for sure that it's, yes, it is. But we're going to look at the sum. So 1 plus 2 is actually 3. So is 3 divisible by 3? Yes, it is. You get 1. So we already know that it's going to be divisible by 3, which is 4. So let's take a look at a harder number. So for example, the sum of, let's look at a number that has a sum of 12. So 7, 3, that's 7 plus 3 is 10, plus 2. 7, 3, 2. The sum is equal to 12. So is 12 divisible by 3? We already know that it is 12. So this should be divisible by 3. So let's look at it. 7, 3, 2 divided by 3. Yes, ta-da! So it does work. And that's 3. So let's look at 4 now. 4. And the rule for this is that if the number formed by the last 3 digits is, the last 2 digits is divisible by 4. So basically, let's take a look at 24. We know 24 is divisible by 4. So we're talking about the last 2 digits. Oops, not the sum. So this is not the sum. This is just the number formed by the last 2 digits. 24 is divisible by 4. So let's say if we have 124. 124 should be divisible by 24. Let's take a look at it. So 124 divided by 4 equals 31. So when we have the last 2 digits forming a number that is divisible by 4, then we know that the whole number is divisible by 4. Let's try something else. Let's say, so what's divisible by 4? Let's say 36. 36 divided by 4 is 9. So we know 36 is divisible by 4. So let's say if we have 10,136, we're looking at this number. that should be divisible by 4. So 10,136 divided by 4. And it is. It is divisible by 4. And that's 4. So now let's look at 5. A number is divisible by 5 if the ones digits, this is the ones digits. Ones digit is either a 0 or a 5. So let's look at something simple. There's a ones, and then we know that 10 is divisible by 5 because it equals 2. And let's say 15. 15 once again is divisible by 5 because it equals 3. So let's look at bigger numbers. So again, the rule is that if the number in the ones digit is 0 or 5, so 26,125, that should be divisible by 5. And yes, it is. So let's try a different one. 1250. 1250, it has the digits, a 0 in the ones digit, so it should be divisible by 5. And yes, it is. Alright, so that one's pretty easy actually. Most people probably already know that. But let's say 6. 6. So the rule is that if the number is divisible by 2 and 3, then we can assume that it's also divisible by 6. Let's say, for example, 12. 12 is simple. We know that it's divisible by 2 because it equals 6. And we know it's divisible by 3 because it equals 4. So we know that 12 is divisible by 6. So it has to be divisible by 2 and 3 to get, and 3 basically. Not or, and. So let's say, let's try a different number. Let's say 36. 36 is divisible by 2, which is 6, 3, and then, wait, let me check. 36 divided by 2. And what the hell? 36 divided by 2 is 18. Yeah. Okay, so 18 times 2 is 36. Yeah, that's right. So 36 is divided by 2. Is 36 equally divided by 3? Let's check. Divided by 3, 12. So yes, it is 12. So we know that 36 is divided by 2 and 3 equally. So it's divisible. So 36 has to be, because it's 6. It has to be divisible by 6 too. And so that's 6. So what about 8? 8, the rule is that if if the number that is formed by the last 3 digits is divisible by 8, then we can assume that it's the whole number is divisible by 8. So let's just say 10,000. Let's see, 8. What's a good number for 8? 8 times 9 is 72. 8 times 10 is 80. So 8 times 12 is 80. That's 1696. So 8 times 15. So 15. I'm just trying to figure out what number is divisible by 8. That's 40. So 8. That's what is it? 12. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 120. So we know that the number that is formed by the last 3 digits is actually divisible by 8. So again, let's check my math. 120 divided by 8 equals 15. So let's assume that 10,120 is divisible by 8. Ta-da! So it is. It's 1265. So following that rule, we can assume that the whole number is divisible by 8. And let's move on to 9. And 9, what the rule states is that if the sum of the digits is divisible by 9, then we can assume that the whole number is divisible by 9. Let's see, so the sum of all the digits is 9. So let's say 7 to 1. Oh, actually, 7 to 0. 7 plus 2 plus 0 equals 9. So let's say 7 plus 2 divided by 9 equals 80. So when you divide it by 9, it actually equals 80. So this is an easy rule as long as you can accept it, basically. So if the sum, it's saying if 7 plus 2 plus 0 is equal to 9, then we can actually divide it by 9. So let's test it out. Let's change this to 1 and this to 1. So it would be 7, 1, 1. So 7 plus 1 equals 8 plus 1 equals 9. So according to this rule, you can actually divide by 9. So 711 divided by 9 is 79. So you can. So it's 79. So basically that's the rule for 9. And I think that's, at least according to my tutoring experience, a lot of kids have, or even adults have trouble with accepting that rule. Let's go over with 10. 10 is pretty easy. 10, any number divisible by 10 has to have, or, any number that has a zero, that's 0. In the ones digits, in the ones digit. So like 10, of course, like 20, of course, like 30, and on and on and on. So this is kind of the most common one that people know. So let's test it out in bigger numbers. Let's say 12, 1, 2, 3, 0, 0, 0. So technically this is the ones. So let's say if we can write that number, 12, 1, 2, 3, 0, 0, 0. So we have that. Let's divide it by 10. And yes, 12, 1, 2, 3, 0, 0. 12, 1, 2, 3, 0. Okay, so we get that. And this is actually 1,212, 300 with 300. So yes, that rule does follow. So again, that was is a number divisible by 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, or 9. How to tell if the number is divisible by these numbers. I intend to. Alright, thank you guys, and subscribe or dislike or like if you like or dislike it, and give me some comments if you guys think this was boring or if it was useless. I definitely want to know that. Okay, thank you guys, and have a good day and happy studying.